Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, all right, minutes from August 6th.
Motion approved.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Claims. James Parker, the beaver removal of the Virgin Arm. Comes out of the house fund.
Yes.
Okay.
You got 300, well, we paying the 100 because it says 150 up here. We paying the 150. Is that what we're doing?
It's just highlighted.
Okay.
Yes, the other one comes out of a different ditch fund.
Huh?
The other on there comes out of a different ditch fund. That's not you guys, it's yours.
Okay, so I was curious.
I move that we approve the $150 for beaver on the Virgin Arm as presented.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The house ditch variance 2 field tiles.
Yes, Sarah's got it pulled up on the screen up there. This was something that the president and I needed to look at together. The contractor was out there doing work and they were running into an issue. It needed to be taken care of right away. So he looked it over, I looked it over, and it was simple, basic, like we always do, and he went ahead and approved it. And they actually have the work done, so we don't like to make a habit of that, of course, but that's.
So what exactly is are we approving?
We'll have to get the drawings from Jesse when he's
There
finished
look
looking
like
at that,
2
but
lines going.
there is, yeah, there was 2 field tiles going, and they were tying into the ditch.
Is there additional charge for the work that we have to do because of the variance or
No.
just the variance?
Mhm.
They just wanted to,
Yeah.
dump into a ditch. basically.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
I'd make a motion to approve what was the variance for the house ditch 2 field tiles?
Second. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 2026 ditch assessment discussion.
Yeah, so, with the rising cost of everything and limited money in our accounts, it's unfortunate that we need to have a discussion about possibly raising our ditch assessments. But, we could do it the, 25% to start out with without having a public hearing, if that's what the board were to decide to do. But that, I'm just throwing that out there for something to you guys to discuss and consider for our future needs, because like I said, here's our ledger. Any questions you guys ever want to see that or anything like that of what our funds are?
We see that.
Yep. Now, all the ditches are on there together. So if you would like to look up specific ditches, or here's the list of what all are Starke Marshall. So you can find those on the list. Unfortunately, they're not in alphabetical order.
Do we know when the last time this was increased was?
No, I don't, and I will need to check into that.
Okay.
I think you can only do the 25% one time.
When you say one time, do you mean one time every so many years or one time now?
We're saying just one time. 20%, then after that, we have to have to.
You're saying that increases 25% for like 1 year and then,
No,
or just,
If she wants to raise the assessment, she can raise it and shit at 25% one time. But
And then-
get 5 years later, you can't say, let's do it again.
yeah,
Right.
then the next time you have to have a public hearing.
So
Yeah.
then it probably would be good to make sure that we haven't done that before, is that?
yes, yeah.
Yeah,
Need to check.
So I'm gonna look into that and then I'll
Yeah.
report back to you guys at the December meeting and let you know where we stand with that, so we
Yeah.
don't do anything.
I would kind of like to know what the balances are in the ditches you're talking about raising and how much they generate. So we can somehow have some justification
All right, that's fine.
when we get questions.
I think you had a better one, didn't you? Like beginning of the year?
I can definitely get you a
I
list.
think
but-
you had a better one that was like.
Just-
had a filled out.
Yeah, just with
Better.
the Marshall County ditches on there, we can definitely get that to you guys. I can email it, you know.
Like files and-
Like I say, it's what Craig does for us. He'll give us a list of the ditch, what the fund balance is. Of course, is it the same over here? Was it when you reach 4 times?
4 times, correct.
Shut it off.
It shuts off until you spend it back down.
Mhm, yes, that's correct.
I guess that's the kind of stuff I like to see if it's because when you got all these different ditches, is it really justified across the board 25%?
Okay, Yeah,
Because I'm not in favor of raising things unless there's a reason,
Yeah.
unless there's a reason for it.
Like the house, does that one still have quite a bit in it? That one always had a lot, if I remember.
is just.
But there was a lot of-
Look on the ledger one.
That's why we was doing a bunch of work on it, because you had the money.
Right,
Well, it needed done.
You need it done,
Done.
yeah, but I'm saying,
but yeah, I will definitely get you a more detailed report and get that sent out to you guys soon.
Yeah, because I would assume that if it hasn't been raised in the last 5 years, just based on inflation, it probably needs a 25% increase. But
Yeah.
it's good to see those numbers just to make sure.
Yeah, all the cost of,
Yeah.
wow.
I think in Marshall County, when we've done the 25%, you know, you don't have to have a public hearing. We still issue a notice in the paper.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you, Craig.
yeah.
Okay. Any old business?
Let me see. No, I don't have any old business.
Any new business?
We're using the drone.
Yes.
And we'll have pictures for you guys hopefully at the next meeting, and the Fort County will have video and pictures for theirs. But yeah, nothing for this one yet, but
Gotcha.
so unless you guys have any questions or concerns that.
I think so.
we need
Was
to
there any
know.
other ditches that we needed? Didn't we have some proposals on some ditches for bids, I think?
We have got, for the Fort County, we've got those, the Schroeder ditch in Marshall County.
Do we have anything for ours?
No,
No.
We have-
Is there any ditches that you identified that need?
the Taylor drain is one at Bass Lake that one will be ready to open bids next month in December, and that's for this board,
Gotcha.
so.
can you refresh my memory? I forget the name of the ditch, but we had the one with a private tile, we're gonna run through a guy's property. A few months back.
Oh, Mr. Denzel,
Yeah, did everything got worked out?
that was a civil matter.
Okay, that's what we told them.
That's what-
basically.
yeah.
Okay. I know that's what we kind of told them, but I couldn't remember if they were.
Yeah, Autumn and I worked together on that
Okay.
and we got him pointed in the right direction, so.
Okay.
Any other business?
Not for me.
Any other, do we have anything from the public or?
Roberta?
So I just wanted to, I'm curious if our drainage boards have actually started looking into the possible impacts of these data centers we're starting to hear about. I know one of the sites is that's being talked about here in Knox is in the 2 mile jurisdiction, but I understand that that still falls under our drainage boards
Yeah.
if it's a regulated ditch. I also know a lot of our headwaters for some of our ditches come out of Marshall County. I know they have a 2 year moratorium. But I'm just curious, as the board is kind of responsible for protecting and maintaining all of the regulated drains, are you guys prepared or starting to prepare to make recommendations to our planning commission and commissioners on what we might need to look at, including in the ordinance for these data centers, should we proceed with them?
Should be the key word.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yes. That's something we need
Just
to,
wondering if are we trying to get ahead of it?
I would have a question, well, I guess, have a question and a comment. How far does our authority go past that 75-foot setback? In Marshall County, we have a 75.
Yeah, we didn't have, we're the same, 75 feet.
Yeah, so how, and to answer her question, our authority go as a drainage board.
Well, typically, we wouldn't have any recommendations until we saw their drainage plan, and they would have to bring the plan to the
Right.
board, and then they would have to vote or make recommendations based on that plan.
But that would basically be the commissioners at the end of the day, wouldn't it? Is that how you do it
And
over
the
here?
tech team, or
We have a tech committee,
Yeah,
then the tech committee meets and reports to the planning commission.
Yeah.
And then the planning commission sends recommendations to the commission.
commissioners, yeah.
But like with,
the drainage plan, though, we have to approve.
yes,
it.
you have to approve the drainage plan. Yes, that was like, similar to when we had, commercial solar stuff, and Bob Lloyd was the one that came and
Yes.
explained things to the board. That
Like the
had,
culverts and.
right, yes.
Crossings and.
So there was an actual section in that ordinance specifically about the drainage, and they had to come to get our approval first, or your approval, I'm sorry, before they could move on to the next step. So,
And so for this board specifically, because obviously we have limited geographical jurisdiction with the project, it would have to fall specifically within the area that is covered by our jurisdiction for us to have any say about
That's
that,
correct.
right? Yeah,
yes,
okay.
Yep.
I'm glad you raised the question though, because I think I saw a Facebook post that you put out yesterday or day before about this topic. And
I'm
I'm,
gonna just stop you just for 1 second, please. But I did put that out, just so you know, as a taxpayer and a citizen in my official capacity.
very good.
So
Okay.
I just
Yeah.
wanted to track that.
So I'll withdraw that and I'll say just as a general practice, as we're starting to look at jurisdiction, since that was the topic. I did catch a Supreme Court oral argument, Indiana Supreme Court. It was either last week or the week before, where there was a case in another county on an energy project where there was a great deal of confusion about jurisdiction within the 2 mile zone, and that some of our understandings about who has jurisdiction within that zone may not be accurate. That the contention raised during the oral arguments was that unless the city or town is actually providing services to the people within the 2 mile zone, their jurisdiction may not apply on a project like that. And so it's something to definitely double and triple check, because I would hate to have, they've got, somebody's put, $5 or $10 million worth of investment into an energy project. And now they're trying to go back and say that the authorization was never legal to do it because the board that authorized the project did not actually have jurisdiction. So that's somebody, I'd get 3 or 4 lawyers to look at that.
Yeah, 'cause you would have
Thanks.
several
Yeah.
different opinions on something.
Right. Yeah.
Well, and I guess my question is like, when I look back at the solar ordinance, something the drainage board had talked about that could be added, like, do we require them to drench the ditches in advance of the project, especially with these? My understanding is the amount of stormwater runoff. I mean, you're talking about 100,000 square foot building at minimum. And I mean, that's gonna change the runoff. And then
Yeah.
there's what I've read, and again, I have not done a lot of research on the drainage ditches. I know the water usage that they use. But that they also then dump that wastewater into the ditches. And that's where I think the drainage board can add some of that into the ordinance, is my understanding. but I could be wrong.
I sat on the South Bend Elkhart Regional Partnership Board on behalf of Marshall County.
Mhm.
On the last meeting, this kind of come up a little bit, not so much about ditches, but data centers. And the guy right next to me was it's the Wajik, is that the Pokagons?
Mhm.
I think it's Pokagons. He's the head of the Pokagon tribe up there out of Dewajak. And he's on that board. He was sitting right on my left, and he raised a question which I'd never heard before, never thought of. The data centers, if they're allowed to go in and tap into the aquifer, and they're not next to a ditch, and that water's that extreme warm waters pump back into the aquifer, does that change anything? Because algae and fungus and things will grow in warm water, they won't in cold. So are we somehow on a small scale changing the aquifer or putting it at risk? And I'd be honest, I've never thought of that hot water going back down. Should that be the case?
I
So-
think the new Carlisle one, what I saw is that they are dumping, during their construction, they were dumping everything into the drainage ditches.
Yeah.
They were
Yeah, well,
Doing it.
dewatering.
Watering, and, you mentioned the aquifer, and I'll just say that right now. I'm just throwing it out there, and I know you guys probably don't have control over it, I don't know who would, but, we've got LaPorte going in, New Carlisle.
Yep.
Jasper County, all of us are on the same aquifer.
Yep.
So do we need to be concerned about the whole region, not just Starke County residents, but you start putting these things in every single, at what point are we putting too much strain on the same aquifer?
Mhm.
I don't know the answer. I just know in Starke County, our farmers use a lot of irrigation,
Yep.
and if that goes dry,
Well, if it goes dry, you got a bigger problem. So
your house is everything.
Yeah, there you go. Your
everybody's-
lifestyle and your quality of life and everything else goes out the window up here.
Now, I was just curious again, not trying to stir anything, just, is it something that the drainage boards are starting to think about? Where can you guys help protect the county? And I don't know the answer. And it sounds like maybe there's some research that might need to be done to decide where.
I would think there's a bigger question. We can try to protect Marshall County, but if St. Joe County, they want to protect St. Joe, we're all the same aquifer. And so what then?
Yeah.
Well, and the drainage ditch is all, so
Yeah,
if one,
yeah,
that, if you guys had a data center and they were dumping, eventually that affects us. And now New Carlisle, I'm guessing that comes into Marshall, which ditches, are we having those conversations with the neighbors?
In Marshall, we
You know.
blame everything on Starke anyhow, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's kind of concerning that, we oversee so much stuff, and I don't know if there's any body that really is looking after the aquifer.
The total.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and assessing, when somebody brings something in, is there actually capacity to take care of them and the existing needs? I mean, that LEAP project down there by Indianapolis is a, great example of how somebody went out and invested a huge amount of money
Yep.
and didn't even take the available water supply into concern. So,
Well,
yeah.
New Carlisle just said in his interview on their thing, I think it was the county council woman made the comment that they're now doing an impact study to decide the impact on the
Amy.
after
Yeah.
the fact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Too late then.
Well, and that's just it, right? We want to make sure that we're not too late. I think we need to do the study beforehand, not after the fact.
I'm assuming that was Amy Drake that made that
Her
statement.
hair, glasses, she's in the video. I did not pay attention to her name.
That's probably her, but anyhow, I think she's probably also more talking about the new one they want to put in again.
Yeah, exactly, the
They're
additional one.
The
and-
additional.
The 20, there's another one, yeah, Meta or something.
They want to come in.
Expand, because once they've already got the infrastructure in, it's easier to expand in that location than it is to pick up and start all over in another location.
Because there's a lot of pushback up there over the second one.
There's,
A lot of pushback.
thank you for answering us. Like I said, I don't know where you guys start and stop. I just want to make sure that I'd like to just kind of put it out there for all of the boards in the county that, I think we need to do our homework and see where everybody's responsibilities start and stop clearly on something of this size.
Well, when Stark County talks about an ordinance, that would be something that you and I would work with the planning commission on for drainage concerns and things.
And that was, I guess,
Okay.
thank you. So that was my
Yeah.
question. So you guys could come in front of the planning commission with your or the tech review, with
Right,
your recommendations from the drainage board.
correct.
Okay.
Yep.
In Marshall, we have a subcommittee of several individuals, some community members. I sat on it when I could be there as commissioner, and Deb Johnson sits on there as council and plan commission member. And our ordinance for the best, we've been working on for quite a while, is our initial ordinance is going to come to the plan commission the end of November. Now, it'll be changed, there'll be adjustments, because they don't have to, there'll be public hearings and it'll go to council. We went back to the last subcommittee meeting and I brought up a lot of issues. I missed parts of them. And we're gonna go back. I'm not gonna speak for Jesse. I think Jesse probably agrees with a lot of it, but we haven't talked about all this. But these companies bringing these projects into your counties, whether it's here, Stark, whoever, need to be responsible. And in Marshall, I'm sick and tired. We've had it before. They did that with solar, and now we're here on the lawsuit because they didn't get what they want. I'm sick and tired of people coming in. And we want to be a good neighbor, and as soon as they don't get what they want, they sue us.
Mm-hmm.
And so now going forward, I made suggestions last meeting, subcommittee meeting, that you as a parent company are going to take full financial responsibility if anything happens. You're not going to hide. I don't care if you set up a painless LLC. You're not going to hide behind that. You're going to sign an agreement. You file that application. Doesn't mean the application is going to get approved, but when you sign that application, you're going to file and take full financial responsibility. And if you sue us, you're going to pick up both sets of legal fees. Because we're not going to have this anymore. Well, we don't think that's what you meant. Baloney.
Well, there's big
Think
laws.
about baloney.
It just happened in Michigan. In
Yeah.
fairness, their
Yeah.
data center,
Yeah.
the zoning board denied.
Yep.
And they sued and they won because they said that they were operating, same thing that solar has said, they were operating in good faith.
Yeah.
Right? And they already invested all of this money and the judge ruled, well, in the end, against Marshall County in
Yeah.
all, you guys are much larger, you have a
Yeah.
little more. Start a county like ours, we don't have the ability to fight these things.
Yeah.
So I will be interested to see what you guys put in there to protect the county
Based
so
on,
that we can do the same thing.
based on last Friday, we're getting a track record to it being in court. We have a proven track record and we're winning. And I believe if it goes forward, We've got two cases right now, depending on IDEM, whether it's appealed or not. But I believe we'll win both these cases. I didn't think we wouldn't have won, we wouldn't have done it.
I hope you guys do, I really do.
But they turned around and as soon as the BZA turned them down, ruled against them, they turned around and sued us. Well, is that really what a good neighbor does?
Same thing here in Starke County,
Yeah.
as soon as we
So-
tried to turn it down, they immediately threatened the lawsuit.
Anything else? Motion adjourned?
Motion adjourned.
So second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.